Umaji, you're frightening them. And, don't worry, I'll stop quickly because I think all that needs to be said is actually being said. And I'm just actually, adding a little garnish on it. And I think my entry here, I think it was God's larger plan. And we did the first level together, we did the second level together, both of us, my son and I. And sadhana, like I told you, we were just closing down the TTC, it was just getting over. And I had a lateral entry into the sadhana program. And then that also we did together. I think we do not know who has changed for the better, but we find each other very, very compatible. And at the physical level, the first level program is like, you're like a use and throw away battery. And then at the second level, you become like a rechargeable battery. And at sadhana, you really get to be a dynamo. So that's what your question, I hope that answers your question. What do you do in sadhana? We turn you into dynamos, not we, chaser turns you into. And like there's a lot of energy, and you start doing more work than what you have been doing probably in your 20s and 30s also. And the question is, people looking at you feel like, we look to you as younger, and we have two horns, and we spend a sleepless night thinking like, lots of people are saying a lot of good things about us, but then the actual change comes within, and like a lot of them shared about personality integration, that's what happens. And once you're into sadhana, the question comes from what you do with your energy, and that the sadhana program will answer. It makes you think, it makes you apply all that is being taught in the class in your everyday life, and there is no path like a spiritual path and your everyday life. There are no two paths, and you turn to merge each other and merge them very beautifully. And people, in fact, when I started coming into my TTC program, thought I was actually being driven by a chauffeur-driven car, and I had a 5-star cook at home because if the class starts at 6, I would be here at 5:45, and so people thought how I could beat the emergencies unless I had these things around. But it was not true. I did have a lot of commitments at home, and I did wait for a bus, though it was only 2 stops away. And I did come here. And so people started then telling me that I was working like a railway canteen, waking up at 3 and cooking at home and coming to meet. And my only prayer was, I wish I could make it for every class, and because I didn't want these emergencies of home to arise. And I think my prayers were actually answered in advance, and it just happened. And I really don't recall any class that I missed. Unless maybe we have to take a peek into the register. And I think about Jay sir, like we had 7 speakers before me, and I actually broke down at the end of every speech that was said. And from merely just learning to do yoga, learning to practice it as just another practice or another discipline, we've moved a long way from there. And today we want to do something with our lives, and the first thought that goes away is not to be just a mediocre. And I think you cannot be. Once you enter into sadhana, you just cannot be mediocre. And this kind of enthusiasm, because when I entered, I came in with zero expectation, with 100% enthusiasm. And all that you need is that. And this enthusiasm is very, very contagious because it comes from Jay sir. Because every class you see him pouring his life into whatever he says and teaches. And so before I can get very emotional and break down, I think I don't want to be just another student. And like what my sons shared, we want to touch that very, very edge of what is called discipleship. And today I see Jay sir fully in this room. I don't miss his presence at all, or his absence. It's just full here. Thank you very much.